Welcome to the Think Holistic Podcast by Indie Holistic Hub, a show designed to help you on your wellness journey. When you think holistic, you live holistic. Find out more at indieholistichub.com. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Sefrin.
Hello, it's a great day to think holistic. There are many beautiful things occurring for the greatness of our community and supporting healthy living. On today's show, we have Dr. Clifford Fetters of Health and Wellness of Carmel. And in further fun news, they are the title sponsor of this year's Holistic Hub Wellbeing Fest. Yes, we are back with Indie Holistic Hub's signature annual event on Sunday, November 13th. It will be the 7th event. It's hard to believe. So we, myself and Dr. Fetters, invite you to join us at the gorgeous Biltwell Event Center, downtown Indianapolis. You can check out all the details by going to indieholistichub.com and clicking on Wellbeing Fest. So let's get further into our show now. Dr. Fetters, thank you so much for your support, and welcome to the Think Holistic Show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yes. Well, you offer so much underneath the umbrella of Health and Wellness of Carmel, an array of services to really wrap around people wholly, in their patient care. And I love that you've stepped up to really support the collective community at large. So what was it that really it led you to wanting to support Wellbeing Fest in such a significant way?
Well, I know all the people that support this, all the holistic healers. We're a pretty tight-knit community. But the problem is we're all so busy working, we rarely get to see each other. But to be able to see each other, talk to each other with all our patients surrounding us is just a great atmosphere.
It really is. I just love the day. Each year I get better at getting to enjoy the day and not being so much into the details of the event. And that's one of the things that when I hear someone say their life was transformed, and I hear the vendors saying how much they loved being amongst each other, it just takes that one comment that's all of it was worth it, all of it. So having meaningful supportive community is really important, especially this day and age.
Right. In this day and age, everyone has such different opposing opinions on everything. However, at that meeting, we're all on the same page. We're all working together. And it's just that atmosphere. It's literally a healing atmosphere just to be with all these people. And it's just a great feeling. Yes.
And coming together, knowing there's many lives to touch and people are looking for different things. And so we all show up so people out there can find what's a resonant fit for them right now and their goals and their lifestyle goals around holistic living. So yes, your mission at Health and Wellness of Carmel is to educate, facilitate, and advocate the natural approach to health and wellness to end chronic diseases. That's a big bill. And I have to say, not enough of that's being done, especially from the perspective of wanting to be as natural as possible.
Right. But fortunately, more and more people are drawn to it. The latest statistics is we're growing at 20% annually each year, just the holistic health movement. So, just do the numbers on that. And we already have, billions of people see. In fact, maybe up to 45% of all people in America have seen a holistic doctor. And 30 years ago, it's probably 5%. So we've made huge strides in reaching out to other people.
When I started off on this venture that is thankfully now Indie Holistic Hub and is here today, I would hear people, holistic providers who've been around for some time, say to me, just don't give up, stay the course. And it's a real interesting tide that's happening. And I'm very hopeful for that and people becoming more aware and wanting to take more natural steps in their lifestyle. So, tell us a bit about, I always find it fascinating, but people still what drew them to taking the path they've taken. So what drew you to taking a holistic approach? And I mean, you're a medical doctor, so what drew you to taking a holistic stance in your practice?
Well, actually, way back when I was in the 9th grade, sports was number one, girls were number two, and having fun with my friends. And then somehow I ended up in advanced biology in 9th grade. And this Mr. Buzzer was our teacher. And he said, I know a lot of you kids aren't interested in school, but we're going to talk about biology. I'm going to tell you why biology is one of the most important things you'll learn, because without biology, there's no life. So whatever you do in your life, in your career, there's something that has to do with biology. And he just said how biology works, the way he taught it. He was so passionate about it. It's like, wow, I like this guy. So I got straight A's. I didn't have to study. And I just he gave me a reason to learn. And just through, college and through medical school, just biology seemed so easy to me. But then the first day of pharmacology, IU School of Medicine, 1982, the head of pharmacology said, well, you know how amazing the body works, but let me tell you, here's our toolbox, and here's one of our tools, and you can take a beta blocker that blocks this receptor, it does this, which does this, that lowers your blood pressure. He was so proud of that. I remember thinking, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. We have this amazing body. We know all the physiology. So you're just blocking receptors and blocking things to make something else happen without even considering what's going on. And it was just shocking to me. But, once you get into medical school, these doctors are all smarter than you. So you just kind of fall in line. And so it really didn't hit me until I went into practice. 1 year into practice, stress usually brings on bad things. It was even when it's all good stress. I just graduated from residency. I got my dream job with the best group in town, and I just got married and all these wonderful things. But that means I'm living on adrenaline. When you live on adrenaline, that suppresses your immune system. Here comes the germs, and I developed inflammatory arthritis. I still remember the moment my partner said, well, just take naproxen. I go, I'm going to take that. I just gave a person an ulcer last week, and my guy almost had a heart attack from raising blood pressure so much. And then 2 seconds later, I realized, wow, what a hypocrite I am. I give it to 28-year-old women for their arthritis, but I won't take it myself. And it's just a gut check, and I just knew I had to find another way.
Wow. Thank you for listening to your gut.
Yeah.
It's courageous that way. I love that you point out there can be good stress also, and it depletes us, and we have to be aware of how we recharge and refuel ourselves, even amongst all the greatness that might be happening in our life.
Exactly. And people don't think about that because, a lot of people are very successful in life, but success means one thing after another. And no matter what, you just have to take time off to just let your body regenerate, like recharge yourself.
Yeah, renew the mind, recharge the body. Exactly. I'm learning that more and more, Dr. Fetters,
yes.
Okay? So I'm getting better at it.
For sure.
So now you have a team around you. Tell us a bit about the team that you have and the diversity you have and what you offer.
Right. So I have, a medical doctor. I have, nurse practitioner, physician assistants, a naturopath. I have energy workers and many nurses. We have IV therapists, and the IV therapists also specialize in my cancer treatments. So we actually have approximately 30 employees. Again, it's one big team working together to take on the most challenging health problems. Mm-hmm. We do it all naturally.
I love that. That is a big team. Wow, that's impressive. Yes. Yeah. I mean, when you started off, was it you, just yourself, and then you're like, add on?
Well, right. Well, see, I started with a group practice, and as I was growing my holistic health wing, my three partners did not want to go with me. And I found more and more of their patients wanted to see what I was doing. And it just was such a conflict of interest because you always have to see the other patients and the other doctor's patients. And it's like, suddenly I didn't agree with what they were doing. And I finally spoke. I said, you know what? I can't keep doing this. You're all invited to come with me. And I thought one of the doctors I could convince, but none of them would do that. So I went off on my own and did it totally by myself, and then just grew from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So natural care. I want to read this list of things that you all within your team are versed in treating. I think this is very impressive and important to share with people listening in. So we've got conditions like Lyme disease and associated co-infections, mold biotoxin illness, all stages of cancer, inflammatory bowel disease, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus and psoriasis, even ALS and MS and long haul COVID, as well as symptoms of depression, anxiety, mood disorders, and chronic fatigue. Wow. That's a lot under your belt.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just don't think about that. They think, I'm depression, I just need a prescription drug. But most of the time, there's many underlying causes of depression, including heavy metals, infectious process, stress, trapped emotions, just the neurotransmitters. Prescription drugs work very well for many people with depression. We've come a long way. But if you give the precursors to the serotonin, to the neurotransmitters, it just works so much better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I can only imagine the lives you've touched through the work that you do. Can you share an example with folks of how you've used your natural approach to affect someone with one of these chronic conditions?
Yeah, probably one of my favorite cancer patients, and the whole, healing is so interesting. When you have someone that has complete confidence in you, it works so well. When I have someone with cancer and they're scared to death, what are you going to do to me? What are they going to do? What's going to happen? I've been on message boards for all the last 6 weeks, and I've talked to every message board in the world, and they're doing this and you're doing that. They have so much tension. It's almost impossible to help them become well. So this one patient, she came from northern India, drove an hour and a half to see me, and she was from the country. She didn't know the difference between a carbohydrate and a protein, but I just explained to her she had recurrent tongue cancer. It was very advanced, and they wanted to remove virtually all of her tongue. She'd never speak again, and she didn't want it. And she, but the oncologist she lived 10 years with just a small amount of surgery, but they had to go through the job, but she functioned well for 10 years. But when it came back, she said, I'm not ready to lose my tongue. So she went to an organic diet. She didn't know what that was. She started exercising. She lost 40 pounds, admitted she felt the best she's ever felt in her life. And she drove weekly to my practice for a year doing IV vitamin C, heavy metal chelation, because she had lots of heavy metals like many of us, and did other, some call it SOT, which actually I guess most people, you can talk about messenger RNA now because everyone's heard about the COVID vaccine. The problem with the COVID vaccine is it has your body, the messenger RNA tells your body to make spike proteins. Well, spike proteins are inflammatory, and some people, it causes such an inflammatory response that they can die just from the spike proteins. So our scientists look at the genetics of the tumor, what is giving that tumor immortality. So the messenger RNA only has one message: stop replicating. So one IV for 35 minutes will last for 6 months, stopping the cancer from replicating. So she did that for two treatments over the year with all the IVs, waiting for IST. So dendritic cell therapy was invented by the Germans over 40 years ago. They would take your own white blood cells to fight cancer, called dendritic cells, grow 15 million in the lab, and then they would give it an IV 3 months in a row, had very good results. So one of the top cancer doctors in the world is in Greece. So he figured out how to not just expand them and make it much more cost effective than what they did in Germany, but he could actually program the dendritic cells to fight this specific tumor. And so there was delay after, so that was delayed over a year. So she's the first one in the country to have this infusion. And it was like 4 hours, And she called me that night, 10 o'clock night. She was so happy. She actually could eat meat for the first time. Literally in that small amount of time, it probably helped removing tumor mass from the muscles and tissues. And over 4 months, I saw a tumor that was the size of my thumb shrink to nothing in 4 months. Her oral surgeon couldn't believe it, so he actually did a biopsy. We have a biopsy that proves that there was no tumor remaining. So that was one of my favorite success stories. And it's just because her willingness to do whatever it takes, never complain, and just complete and faith in God above. Faith in God, faith in herself. She had another problem. Her husband supported her 100%. He drove her every time. He was there all the time. And just when you have complete support around you, that's how you can heal, even advanced cancer.
I love that story so much. Gosh, it brings tears to my eyes. And yes, the support. We all need support. And again, that's why I do what I do. And we have Indie Holistic Hub and Wellbeing Fest is like, how do we support each other and uplift each other and show up for each other? How was she the first person to get to receive that IV?
Well,
the person you said the first country?
That's funny you asked, because there was another man that was going to have the IST too, and he was scheduled ahead of her. So she came 3 hours early because she knew, because she'd been waiting for a year. We were bugging them, so they promised that we would be. Obviously they sent all over the country. So Eastern Standard Time, she was there at 7 o'clock in the morning. So she went ahead. The other man did not care if he was first or second. So she was just so excited to be. Again, if you're excited about it, it's going to work. The person is saying, "Is it going to hurt me?" The placebo effect is so huge, pro and negative. Since she knew, she was waiting. She knew all the story, all the backstory. Probably the people who are making it after waiting that year and all that we talked about it, and just having to being infused. She was just so excited and positive. It was just just uplifting just to be around her. But it was it was her attitude, and actually came like 3 hours early to be the first one. Was kind of fun.
That is so much so. I love it. What spunk and cooperation, right? She was ready to do it.
Yeah.
So part of what we love to do on our show is we want to give our listeners some tips for their holistic living and lifestyle. So I know you brought some things to the table today to share with those listening in. Would you mind sharing your first tip for thinking holistic and living holistically?
Yeah, the number one priority has to be the diet. Unfortunately, our food supply in America has a lot to be desired. The European Union does not allow most of the pesticides and herbicides and genetic modification that we do in America. So fortunately, in Indiana and the Midwest, we have so many farmers, and there's organic farmers and farmers market. And because of the demand, pretty much all the grocery stores have some organics. And obviously we have Whole Foods and many others in central Indiana. So there's really no excuse. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but I saw a research article recently in America. I'm sure, can you guess what percentage of food that we buy is thrown away? What percent of food that a family buys?
Just don't even get me started.
I know, between 30 and 40%. So 30, and so, but in organics, the relative cost keeps coming down. So in central Indiana, with all the competition, maybe it's 25% more expensive. But again, it makes you think. You pick out the best stuff. You make sure you eat it. You don't waste it, and you probably realize, we, especially the Midwesterners, we consume mass quantities. If you've ever been to Europe, they give you these little tiny plates and a little amount of food. You know what? We probably don't need as much as we eat. And as you know, probably the most powerful things to cause longevity is calorie restriction. So not overeating is very beneficial. Eating organic, drinking filtered water. I mean, that's number one.
Yeah. I was thinking when you were talking, I was going to ask you, what do you tell people that just say, I can't afford it or whatnot. So you answered that. And I would say choosing one more thing or the first thing that you are going to buy organic and building from there. Because I think just look at, well, I can't buy everything organic, so never mind. This is about taking steps because we're always taking new steps on this earth to live more conscious lives. So, yeah. Excellent. Okay.
The other thing I catch, but you go to Starbucks and get coffee every day. Okay, that $5 or $6 you're paying for something you can make for a quarter in your home. Okay, there's $5 a day. That's the difference between holistic and not holistic per person, easily.
Yeah. There you go. Exactly.
Starbucks, but okay.
I know you're not. All right. Number two. What's your second tip?
Yeah, I call it the peaceful emotional state. Not just proper diet, exercise, meditation, priorities. We get so busy in life, we forget our priorities. And if we can get our priorities front and center and forget about the social media, the news, all the distractions we have every day, life can be so much more peaceful if we take a proactive lifestyle.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to create that peace for yourself?
For me, it's exercise. I am a high energy person and I just need to burn energy. So, rollerblading is my thing. So there's a Monon Trails, which now I live on. I downsized on a condo. So I've got this perfect path for, 40 miles, 50 miles. And the nice mayor paves it every 3 years. So for rollerblading, nice pavement, and I relax there. But I go fishing. My son loves to fish. We fish, we hike, we camp. Just hiking in the woods is probably one of the most relaxing things in the world.
Great for you.
Meditation and prayer is, I feel the same thing. But I have a life group Bible study, and we're all like-minded people there, and we come together once a week, and we meditate and we study, and we just have a community that's uplifting and positive.
Yes, so many great examples. And it's so important for a person, anyone listening in, to discover what that is for them. It's supposed to look the way it looks for them, not supposed to look like what it is for you or for me, So it's really important to honor what works and not compare ourselves. So I love those examples. I too like to be outside. Walking has really been my thing lately, and always taking that moment in the morning, even if I wake up late and I only have 2 minutes, to sit down and connect with the divine and ask for God's guidance. Yep.
For sure.
All right. And do you have a third tip for us?
Yeah, I tell people you want to have a partnership with a holistic provider, whether it's a medical doctor, a naturopath, a chiropractor, physician assistant. A lot of people come in for the first time and they've been following Dr. Mercola and all these other doctors, and they come in on 6 different antioxidants. Well, you don't need 6 different antioxidants. Your body makes oxidative stress for a reason. You have to modulate it, but you don't want to destroy it. So find a doctor you trust, and he can guide you. Number one, less stress, less money wasted, and just he can help guide you on the path to your optimal wellness.
Yes, find that practitioner or team, even, right? That maybe it's just the holistic doctor and the energy worker, right? Like who is it that's your trusted team and advisors? Excellent. So these are great tips. I'm going to review them for everyone. So organic food, clean water, number 1 at the top of your list, Dr. Fetters. Making sure you have that peaceful emotional state and knowing what it is that allows you to have that within your day. And developing a partnership with holistic providers that you trust and can turn to when you're in need of them. So do you have any final words for us today as we wrap up our show? This has been really great.
Yeah, I think an attitude of gratitude is the key. If there's people in your life that's dragging you down, you just need to think, have a conversation with them and seek out the positive people in your life. making, you be an inspiration for other people. People, how can I thank you? It's like, you can thank me by sharing your story with all your friends, your family. And, when people make fun of you because you take these vitamins, you eat differently, it's like, just share your story and you can be an inspiration and you can help someone else.
Yes, completely. That is right. When people see that you're living well and feeling good, then they're going to start being like, well, maybe you're doing something that I want to know about. So be the example. Thanks to those who are listening in. We hope you're inspired to think holistic and live holistic. And I invite you to follow Health and Wellness of Carmel at www.hwofc.com and follow us, Indy Holistic Hub and Health and Wellness of Carmel, to Wellbeing Fest on Sunday, November 13th. So for now, we thank you for being with us. Think holistic and be well.
Thank you for listening to the Think Holistic podcast by Indy Holistic Hub, a show designed to help you on your wellness journey. When you think holistic, you live holistic. To find holistic professionals near you, go to indyholistichub.com.